But anyway, why the K2? Well, because you can mount some very decent weapons on it. As you can see, you have wait, close that. You have 2 ballistic slots, which are in the side torsos. You have 4 energy slots, which are on the right and left arms and on the side torsos. And you can mount an AMS, which, by the way, I'd highly recommend to anybody because LRMs seem to be back in fashion, at least that very annoying LRM5 spammer build. And those can really ruin your day. As you might notice, this is my loadout here. I have 1 Gauss rifle in the right torso. I have 2 PPCs, one in each arm. I did run it with ER PPCs before the PPC renerf, and that worked brilliantly, especially with the old Gauss mechanics. But you know, now it's just running too hot with the ERs, so I switched back to PPCs. And yeah, you're a little bit vulnerable at short range. I mean, you're very vulnerable at short range because your PPCs won't work. But if you play it smartly, if you keep to the back, if you just take the shots that it'll hit, you should be doing okay in this thing. You can do some pretty decent damage in it. And another plus for this mech is that people don't take catapults seriously. If you're if they're facing a group of your team where there's, I don't know, maybe a stalker or 2 in there, or a couple of Jaeger mechs, they'll usually engage those guys first and ignore you. So you can hang it in the back and you can do a lot of damage at long range with your PPCs and your Gauss. Just don't stick your head out. Just don't run out in the open, because then you'll get killed. Another thing about the catapults, or about any mech actually, is I had to reevaluate my opinion on XL engines a little bit, at least, because it always depends, what kind of mech you're running. I mean, you obviously have to have an XL engine in a light because you want the most speed out of a light. Or let me clarify that if you're totally new to this game. XL engines mean that you get the same amount of speed, the same power for less weight, but at the cost of more slots used, critical slots, these here, and at the cost of higher probability of death, because a standard engine will just occupy slots in your center torso. So to kill the engine and to kill the mech, you have to open up the center torso, and then you have to crit the engine, destroy the engine in here. But on a XL equipped, the engine, as you can see here, those 3 slots here where it says engine, they stick into your side torso. Standard doesn't do that. Standard is just in the CT right here, and the XL goes out into your left and right side torsos. And with the catapult, it's not that bad, because as you can see here, the side torso, it's actually pretty hard to hit on the catapult. It's I usually die from cockpit shots or CT shots, because most people, let's face it, most people don't bother aiming for side torsos. I mean, I do, and a lot of people I know do, but not the majority of players, I'd say. Most of them just go for the CT anyway. And with the catapult, like I said, it's it's not that easy to hit, because most of the time they'll just shoot here somewhere, and that's the CT, and they won't take out your side torsos. And your CT is still well armored, considering compared to the side torso. As you can see, you got 65 in the front on your CT, and the side torsos are at 45. So in the K2, yeah, you definitely want an XL engine in there if you want to run any decent form of weapons loadout. Simply because, as I've found out, speed is life in this game, because a bigger engine not only will make your mech walk faster, but it'll speed up everything. It'll make it less sluggish. Your legs will turn quicker, meaning you can maneuver better. Your torso twist will be faster, meaning you can acquire targets better. You can maintain your situational awareness on the battlefield easier, because the torso will just swing around quicker, allowing you to check the sides for enemies. So while I wouldn't put them in any mech, I definitely would put them in the catapult, the XL engines, that is, because if I take this thing out of here, this is a 260, which gives me 64.8 kph plus 10% because I have it on speed tweak. So this thing runs a little faster than 70, which is very decent. If I take this out with the same loadout, the biggest standard engine I could fit is a 210. And that thing, as we can see, requires 2 heatsinks. So it's actually 2 tons more on top of this now. So I couldn't even fit it now. I couldn't run it because the mech's full, and I can't fit the additional heatsinks unless I already have them in there. No, I do. I have one. Plus, look at the speed. It's pathetic. It's 52.3. You'll be slow as hell. You'll be as slow as an Atlas. So definitely not recommended. You know, unless you can live with a lighter weapons loadout, unless you can live without the Gauss, without the PPCs. It's a personal choice, I guess, but I find that most mechs perform much better with a bigger engine. And if it has to be an XL on some models, just try it out, because I found that a lot of mechs really, most of the time, I die to CT shots and not to side torso kills. So in some mechs, it really is worth the risk, considering the upsides, which is better speed, more maneuverability.